Following what was a pretty lackluster Week 1 of finals, Week 2 presents an opportunity to 4 teams to move on to a preliminary final. My name is Ryan and I'll be joined by Joel as we take a look at the 2018 AFL semi-finals. After valiantly going down to West Coast and Perth, Collingwood looked to redeem themselves and continue what has been a surprisingly successful season thus far. Conversely, GWS will be looking to make a third prelim in a row as they try to follow through on pre-season expectations. With both teams having been ravaged by injury this year, it's quite a surprise to see them both competed out in a semi-final. Collingwood ended up losing by 16 points to West Coast, a margin that didn't do the travelling Pies any justice, as they led for roughly half the match. It was easily the best viewing match in Week 1, as both teams had to slog it out until the Pies seemingly ran out of legs. Their strong midfield began to fade in the last quarter, and one can't help but feel that may have something to do with bringing back a host of players in Treloar, Goldsack and Howe, off the back of long layoffs. These guys should be better for the run though, and they'll need to be if they want to cut through the orange tsunami that is the Giants' wave of midfielders. Unfortunately for them though, Josh Kelly won't be playing after suffering a knee injury in the second elimination final. Both teams' midfields are of a very high calibre, with stars on both the inside and outside. Still Sidebottom looks to be the next captain of Collingwood as he leads the highly rated Pies midfield in almost all areas. He is elusively creative and exceptional on both sides of his body. Seemingly, his only blunder for the year seems to be this questionable hand pass. But we'll have to give him the benefit of the doubt in an otherwise fantastic season so far. The Giants are led by Callan Ward in the midfield, and his courageous leadership will be needed if his midfielders to counter the dominance of Brodie Grundy tapping the ball where he pleases. GWS will need to play a little bit more defensive if Grundy gets on top, which may affect their run and gun style of play. If they can read the play though, then the attacking style of play the Pies have become accustomed to could be unstuck. The forward lines are interesting for both sides, as GWS has proven finals footy forward setup. Jeremy Cameron leads the front, and the Giants have welcomed back Toby Green with open arms. Some questionable tactics from him though in his comeback game, as he'll need to be careful not to cause any harm to his opponents with his errant karate feet. He proves to be a match winner though, playing as both a tall and small, and quite a difficult match up on. For the Pies, Mason Cox decided to sleep in for the qualifying final, as Nathan Buckley was left asking where his full forward was for the game. Despite playing in big games like Anzac Day and starring in them, Cox has quickly learned that finals footy is a completely different ballgame, as the tempo goes way up and pressure is increased dramatically. His young supporting cast was also left wanting as they failed to fire. They should be better for the experience though, as they travel back to the familiar MCG and look to redeem themselves. The backlines from both teams couldn't be more contrasting either, as Collingwood have at times struggled to even field a back six. It was an impressive comeback game for Tyson Goldsack, blanketing an equally rusty Josh Kennedy for much of the qualifying final. It's even more impressive when you consider he injured his ACL in March of this year. Coupled with the return of Jeremy Howe, both have returned in excellent condition and look to solidify the back six to try and tackle the troublesome forward line of the Giants. On the opposite side, Phil Davis will look to continue his excellent form after completely dominating Buddy Franklin the week before. Davis is probably the best one-on-one defender in the competition when healthy, and will need to be extra smart where he spoils the ball against Cox. The smaller forwards of Collingwood have been experts at crumbing the spoil, so Davis will need to keep his wits about him and not play into their hands. This is where the Giants supporting cast around Davis will be crucial, and not allow the run that the Pies' smaller forwards love to generate. Their game in round 2 means very little at this point, as both are fielding quite different teams and playing in different styles. I don't see this as being a close game though, as I feel GWS has a stronger lineup with proven finals performers. Don't be surprised if Collingwood goes out in straight sets by 30 plus points, as the orange tsunami floods their way into a preliminary final against Richmond.
After stopping the holy trinity of midfields in the Cats, the D's have moved on to a semi-final showdown with the Hawks at the MCG on Friday night. The Demons must be feeling on top of the world as they have won their first finals match since 2006 and dashed the hopes of Geelong and their quest for a premiership with their stacked lineup. Hawthorn, on the other hand, were gunned down by the juggernauts in Richmond Tigers by 31 points. Melbourne and Hawthorn have two high-powered midfields that will be battling it out on centre stage that is the MCG, hopefully in front of a packed-out crowd. The young bucks of the Demons midfield with Petrarca, Oliver and Brayshaw, alongside with their captains Nathan Jones and Jack Viney, look to run roughshod over Hawthorn. However, that will be no easy feat with the Hawks flaunting a midfield that has both significant finals experience and exciting youth to boot. Sean Burgoyne, the most experienced player in the team, leads the likes of Jaeger O'Meara and Tom Mitchell to get the ball down to the forwards as fast as possible. Tom Mitchell in particular looks to be the favourite for the Brownlow medal race this year and will be a key disposal winner for the Hawks. Max Gawn will, however, be a weapon for the Demons as he is the inborn ruckman of the competition in the past 3 years and will allow the mids to get first use at the ball and let them go to work. One edge the Hawks do have, in my opinion, is the stronger forward line with Luke Bruce, Jared Roughhead, Jack Gunston and Paul Puopolo all being major threats and having the finals experience which could be the difference in this match. That being said, the D's offense is nothing to scoff at, as you have Tom McDonald, Sam Weideman and Jake Melksham being the main options for attack since Jesse Hogan missed the rest of the season with injury. The defensive battles on the respective forward lines should be intense as former Hawk Jordan Lewis lines up against his former team in a final for the first time. Michael Hibberd will look to provide strong run out of the back half along with Neville Jetta to thrust them forward, while Oscar McDonald, Sam Frost and Christian Salem look to lock down the Hawks forward line. On the other end, James Frawley and James Sicily will have huge jobs ahead of them to shut down the Demons' offense. To me, this match is a coin toss with its outcome. If the Hawks win, I expect it to be at least by 5 goals, with the experience snuffing out the Demons' hopes. And if the D's win, I think the youth can just get them over the line by a couple points, no more, no less. The final series is reaching new levels of intensity with new promising teams stepping up to the plate to usurp the established powerhouses of the league and try and forge their own destiny. With 2 wins separating these 4 teams from a grand final berth, each team will look to show their mettle and resolve to try and make it there. Who will go on and face the standard bearers in the Richmond Tigers and the West Coast Eagles in an attempt to book their spot in the final Saturday in September? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe and ring the bell to stay notified for whenever we produce more content. This has been your AFL Access.